why would I shop for my child on Forever 21 when I can go to Shein?
Exactly.
So, I mean, a lot of jobs are being cut. The youth are they're going to be suffering. I mean, even we're suffering, but I think adults mainly are going to shop online. So, the moment that we stop shopping online and we boycott shopping online, we can bring our businesses back. Like at least we can help the local community where we think about small businesses.
Yeah.
We have to think about the job for the youth that are growing up. What are they going to have by time 10, 15 years come? Because all these big companies are shutting down. I mean, what are we going to have? We're just going to have Tesla. We're going to have, like, Amazon. We're going to have these companies that are hiring, but
I don't know about Tesla.
no other skills are going to be taught because
Maybe
this
SpaceX, but Tesla, I don't know about Tesla. If they can get rid of their head and move on to someone else to.
So you don't think Tesla's going to be here?
If they can get someone else to be their spokesperson, it'll do better. But it's like you have one person known for behind it. If you can just cut off their head and just replace it, it'll probably be okay. But SpaceX, okay, that's fine. We always go into space. And I don't even think
SpaceX is going to survive because it's blowing up. I mean, once spaceship blow up, I'm already done. I'm not going there. Just leave me on
Too
Earth.
many of them blowing up.
Yeah.
Leave me on Earth. So we really don't have a clue what's going to be here for the youth when it's their time. But what we're seeing right now is crazy. I mean, Forever 21 was a big deal. Party City was a big deal.
Party City, I never went to Party City. You can get Party. I never went to Party City.
I don't know. Party City was a pretty big company, and they were everywhere.
Yeah, I think I went there for costumes.
What year did they close down?
Party City closed this year. I think it was the beginning of the year.
Oh, I never went to Party City.
They woke up and was like, we don't need you guys anymore. We're closing.
Never went to Party City for anything.
Yeah, so just stuff like that I feel like is tearing our market down. Our economy is struggling just to see big companies go out of business like that. And when you think of Elon Musk and all these big time players in the retail industry, you think about they don't care. They don't care that it's taking away our jobs in the community.
They just want their bread and money.
That's all they want. And so we don't want to boycott the big businesses, but I feel like they need to make a way.
They need to change.
They need to change because we need jobs for our inner city. We need jobs for our kids. So when we're stepping out and mingling and networking with small businesses in the Houston area, it's always good to see when they are hiring the young adults or the inner city kids to help build their skills. I mean, I love seeing that because I'm thinking about all these big companies that's shutting down. Normally, the youth will go straight to the big companies to get jobs. But now I'm starting to see a lot of small businesses in the city hiring young adults. And I think that's a good thing.
I feel like the reason they don't, the big businesses have stopped hiring youth is because the older generation always put a label on them saying, oh, they're lazy. Oh, they just need to pull themselves up by the bootstraps. I really hated that saying whenever I was looking for a job. Like, pull myself up by the bootstraps. I applied to how many jobs and I still hasn't gotten a single interview? It's like, come on.
Well, okay. So that is the biggest issue, though, because small businesses in the city are giving young adults many chances.
They're giving them a chance.
And I don't know if they're learning from the chances that they're receiving because, I mean, that can be hindering them. I mean, when I went to this one restaurant, Remo's Cafe, right? So I get there and they were explaining that one of the young adults, right, in high school, they love this kid so much, but it's hard to keep telling him to do the same thing 10, 15 times. And they've been working with him all this time and it's just so hard to get him to do, what he's supposed to already do. So like common sense, right?
Okay.
That's a big thing. When you're dealing with young adults, companies think that common sense is so common. And me coming from HR, I'm like, yeah, it's common, but kids are going to make mistakes because we're adults and we're still making mistakes. So we have to put ourselves in a young adult's shoes.
And you got to remember, he's still in school.
He's still in school. So I said, well, maybe he has a lot of stuff on his mind. That's just stuff to consider. But are we hindering our young adults when we're hiring them in the small businesses in the city because we're not giving them that feedback they need? Because we're trying to give them an opportunity, but now we're reducing our policies in the company. So it's like a win and loss thing. It's like a hit and miss. But yeah, I mean, I got to give it to Remo's Cafe. They're hiring these young adults. They're hiring these kids, giving them skills. And so what if the big businesses are closing down throughout the city? As long as we have our small businesses giving back and allowing these kids to have a job and make money and stay off the streets, I think that is excellent. I was like amazed when I heard this story. I was like, man, for you to be a restaurant and you're letting these kids work here and putting the policies to the side, because if they're not listening, you know they should be fired.
Yeah. But the same thing. But the thing is, it can also happen to older people too. Like they can hear you say something, but they'll ask the same question, and you constantly remind them the same way as him. But it's like his brain is developing, and there's kind of, I'm not gonna say it on here, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. They're getting older. You know, you grow with age, but at the same time, once you get to a certain age, you start to decline in that cognitive ability.
Yep.
So it's like, and then there's laws against being what is it? I think there's laws against being discriminatory since older people, right? But there's none against younger people.
No, and that's why it's harder for younger people to get a job, because the experience level is not there, and you're taking a risk because they're gonna mess up, and so
but the thing is, you need to give them a chance to build up that experience. If you don't give them a chance to build up that experience, they'll never get that experience, and then they'll be in kind of like just a loop. It's like you don't have enough experience, but you say entry level is not enough experience on you. We ain't gonna do it. We ain't gonna do it. Not enough experience. Until someone actually gives them a chance to build up that experience, and then they'll go back and say, "Okay, you have enough experience. You've been doing this for a couple of years, and yada yada yada. We'll go ahead and take you on and teach you what to do." If they teach you what to do, actually, once you get on the job, some jobs don't do that. Sadly.
Well, that's why nonprofits are so important, like TLC, where we enforce that small businesses invest in youth. And we're developing the programs where we can send the youth out to get those skills. So that's why it's so important for local businesses to just stay focused and stay on the right track, because if the big businesses are shutting down, we most definitely need the small businesses. And so I'll give it up to whoever is a small business in the city. And it don't even got to be a small business, but a business in a city, period, allowing the youth to come in and make all these mistakes. And still we make, letting them have their jobs, still letting them stay on the workforce. I mean, I know it's hard, because I can only imagine, like, even with TLC dealing with the youth, and they're battling stuff at home, and they have childhood trauma and stuff like that, and they showing up, and they're trying to do their best, they're trying to make money. I know it's hard, but we just gotta, man, I really appreciate the businesses just helping the inner city kids, helping them do something positive. And then that goes into like the education system, where that goes hand in hand too, because the education system not really teaching them the skills that they need to transition from school to work. You know what I'm saying? So everything just
there's definitely something wrong with the education system. It should really teach you how to basically go through the basics of life. It can be, sure, you can still teach your math and your English and all that stuff, but at least teach some economics. Teach how to do taxes. Not everyone knows how to do their taxes, and it's going to be a learning curve for first time people doing that. If they learn how to do their taxes, then you can do it by yourself, and you don't have to pay no one. That's the kind of.
Isn't that a course in high school?
They want you to pay into the system.
I don't know. I always think that is less that they want us to know.
Yeah.
If you want to know, you're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. There's no home economics. There's no sex ed. Even though there used to be sex ed, I didn't know that. But
I heard it's optional now.
It's optional.
Yeah.
I didn't see that in my school.
If they want to teach the kids, they can. If they don't, then they don't.
Yeah. There's like there's a whole bunch of things that people should know about, but they're not teaching them at school.
Well, that's why we always say, Miss Cleveland always say, it starts from home. Yeah. So even though the school system is, whatever you guys say, is not worth it, it's trash, whatever your feedback is based on the education system that we have, it's up to the parents at home to teach what the child should know. And so Miss Cleveland always say that it starts from home. So, I mean, we can blame the education system all day long, but if the parents aren't stepping up and teaching their kids to do things the right way, I mean, We can't rely on the government because
No.
the education system is a part of the government. So everybody knows not to depend on the government, whether
There's
it's financial support, health.
Anything.
there's a state education system and then there's a federal education system. The last time I checked, that federal education system got cut. They lost like 600 employees, so that means, yeah, good luck with that.
So I mean, all the way around, like the youth are going to be impacted. I mean, adults probably feel like they're not so much in the way, but I feel like all of us are impacted some
Yeah.
type of way. Like even if my child is affected, then I gotta be affected too.
Honestly, some of the younger adults are affected too because our student loans are tied to the education system.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, when they say, no, student loan forgiveness, it was like we wasn't trying to get our loans forgiven. We're paying it back to society. We're paying it in our way forward for people. It's like we're not just going to say, oh, we forgive him. You don't have to pay anything. No, we're paying it in some way or form, whether through income-driven
Mhm.
repayment plans or something else. But the fact that y'all preaching for us to straight up pay all our debt all at once,
Yeah.
when some of us can't afford it to pay all at once, especially now there's no way to regulate it to where it's like, okay, if they take a little bit of my income, I can still survive and I can still pay this off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like, yeah, y'all just mean and hateful at this point.
Yeah, it's like who do we cry to? We don't. It's nobody to cry to. I mean,
Oh,
that's
no,
why
there's
we're
no one to
bringing
cry
the
to.
topics up because we have a voice, we have a platform that we want to like kind of make awareness. But at the end of the day, like who's going to make a difference here? Who are we trying to cry to?
Right.
This shit right, honestly.
So I mean, businesses is closing. I mean, the youth are impacted more than the adults. I feel like the adults have been around. They kind of can adjust or make some special moves where they can stay afloat. But at the end of the day, we have our youth that we have to be worried about. I mean, 10, 15 years from now, like, what does that look like if we're not going to have no jobs? I mean, come on, like, what if
10 to 15 years from now, the population is going to be in a decline. It's going to be going down.
full of robots?
No, the reason I
I
say,
was just thinking that, like,
I
with all
mean, there
these
might be
features.
robots, but the thing is, the reason I say it's going to go in decline is because if it's harder for people to live, people are going to have less kids because they can't support a family.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't support a family, you're not going to have kids. So that's just a decline in population because older people may live longer, but they're not going to stay able to have a kid either. Like they're old.
Well, they had already said that people are having less children. There are less. There are families that are very small.
Yep. And
3, I think, is the average of children right now. On the average, people are having no more than three kids. There are still some big families, but it's not as big as, I guess, like the baby boomer generation or whatever, where people was having
that was-
6, 7, 8.
that was because of wartime mainly.
Yeah, so it's slowed down already.
Yeah, but it's just like I'm just saying, like, if the government going to complain about it, like, make it more affordable to live at that point.
Yeah.
If you make it harder for us, we're definitely not having kids.
Well, we got to keep the generation going. I mean, maybe long, like probably after our time, there will probably be bigger businesses back up and running. And I think
Yeah, the
I don't-
small businesses, they gonna turn into big.
they gonna turn into bigger businesses. So it's
Like I
going
said,
to the tables are going to turn.
The cycle continues. As long as they continue to adapt and change to the way the market is, the more they're going to prosper.
Yeah.
If they stay stagnant, like some big businesses stay stagnant, Forever 21, then yeah, of course you're gonna go out of business.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to hire the youth. Get the youth involved. Get them those skills. That's why when I had went to Remo's Cafe, I was like, man, okay, you guys are helping out. And it's not just them. It's a lot of companies in the Houston area that is hiring youth and giving them skills, giving them the opportunity. Like that is so important because having the opportunity, I mean, that can go a long way, and that can help small businesses become a big business, like you guys said. So that is man, that's amazing. And I think that's what counts is small businesses understanding that you're small right now, okay, but
Itty bitty.
you can be bigger if you strategize it right, because you can always be like the big businesses that are shutting down. Not that we want to shut down, but they started small and they grew to be enterprises.
Yeah, you never know where you can start from.
Mm-hmm.
It can be from your garage and grow up to something else.
Yeah.
Or you can go on Shark Tank and they invest.
Yeah, but it gotta make sense. I mean, you gotta use your resources,
Go ahead and
and a
talk
lot of
to.
people don't want to work right now, so they
Mm-mm.
probably have to use the youth.
I
The
mean,
youth want to work, but they're lacking skills. So it's like
Mm.
ah.
Right?
yeah, don't want to teach it. Don't want to teach them. Then yeah,
And who
that's,
want to keep repeating themselves? Like I just said this 10 times. If I say it one more time,
Mm.
so what do you think about this, Miss Cleveland? Like, what do you think about just struggling with the youth and trying to get them on track? Should we keep hiring the youth or?
oh my goodness.
I want to say yes, but then look for some who love to cook, cause then they're gonna be willing to learn and they don't learn from their mistakes.
Oh, you talking about for Remos?
For any industry, you want to learn, you want them to
As long as they have
get some valuable
as long as they have
skills.
like a what you call it, a passion for learning, right?
Yeah, just say, "Oh, I love to cook," and you will be showing me different things of
Oh, so
business.
figure out what they like to do, where their
Yeah,
passion
they
is.
Yeah,
interest
find their
is in.
passion, and
That way, you
then
want to tell them 10 and 20 times
yeah, their passion correlates with what you're doing, and yeah, they'll definitely be interested.
Mm.
instead of nowadays kids just want to go get a check for some new shoes
Yeah,
or a new outfit. That's it.
I think most of them are in it for the money
I
So that's what we
mean,
need to change.
money is a driving factor of the
to
economy.
find their passion.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing because like even it goes back to the big companies, like the big box companies. When you think about Walmart, let's just say Walmart. We don't. That's not a career job.
It's
I'm not
sure
gonna go
not.
work at
Mm-mm.
Walmart and say this is my career job. I have a passion for this.
Dealing with people is horrible.
Yeah. So
I mean, not always.
Not always, but it just takes that one interaction to just say, yeah, I'm done here.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm saying, but as far as the passion, I don't have passion to be there, but I need this money to pay my bills. I need this money to survive. I need this money to do things in life.
Well, some people like being around other people.
Okay, that's good for them. Not,
So they don't
but
mind
people that are
interacting.
just there is like, they, I don't know. It's a good place to start and get
Mhm.
your ground and your footing for okay. So I got to do this, and that. But it's just like okay, just
Yeah,
be
I
in mind that
see
people
no
will
career going
sometime make it. Yeah, no, not
I mean,
necessarily.
it could be a career,
You
but
could probably build up to upper
They got
management.
like different departments.
yeah, they got different. But my thing is, when we say hire the youth that have passion, what if they don't have passion in that, but they need the money to pay their bills?
I don't think there's no passion. Walmart.
I mean, no, there's some with the old people.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cause I can walk up to some old person since I have a house now. I'm in the garden section, which I never do. They go on and on. Oh yeah, get this flower and get this kind of soil. Get that pot over there.
Oh, they're kind of like a salesperson. They
It's
sell them
like
to you.
it's like they.
But they have passion in.
yeah,
Yeah,
for
they
gardening.
like gardening. That's the reason why they're over there.
Oh, so find out what they like, then put them in the garden section. Okay.
Put them wherever they want to be at.
Put
They're
'em
gonna
in-
generate sales, everything. They're gonna
Okay.
get
Yeah,
work on
because they'll
time.
know more about the product they're about to sell you and say, yeah, get this right here. This will really help you out here.
Okay.
Oh, your son
I got
having
that.
issues with that? I recommend getting that. It helped me with my issue.
So basically, if you hire them at a restaurant, figure out what their weaknesses and their strengths are.
Mm-hmm.
Put them in that area. So if they like talking, put them as a cashier.
If they're a
and
nice,
have
friendly
passion.
person, yeah, send them out there.
Okay, got it.
Mm.
Okay.
But they just hire them, stick them anywhere.
But I don't know if that's going to stop the frustration with the youth not comprehending or because a lot of managers and not just Remos but like places that I visit because see we have to go to these places to get the opportunity for the youth. So when
Mhm.
you're going to these businesses and you're like, okay, what do you guys have to offer to the youth? Coming from TLC, we need to place the youth at this location or this business to gain skills. And most of the managers are constantly saying, well, they need to have this, they need to have this experience, they need to be able to do this, they need to be able to do this. And it's like a whole list of things, knowing that the youth are not able to meet those expectations.
And usually when they say like a whole list of things, it's just like, okay, you're not very clear or concise about it, but okay, I'll try to get most of that done. But the thing is, sometimes they contradict each other.
Or
All the time.
They underestimate the youth because kids is now smart
Yeah,
than
if
anything.
they understand that your wording is contradicting it, it's like, what do you want me to do then? It's just confusion.
Maybe they need to try rewording some things because they may say you need to do administrative work. They're like, well, what is that?
Yeah.
You got to break it down. Well, do you not do this? Oh, yeah, I know how to do that. Oh, okay. Well, this is what this is called.
Yeah, just break it down
This
for
can
them.
help you in the long run. Don't use all them big terms and big words and
Yeah, because it scares them.
yeah, and they gonna be like, no, y'all asking for too much, and they gonna turn around.
I would just ask what it means, honestly, because I'm a
You
curious type
these
of
days
person.
don't do that.
I'm just a curious
And
type of
they'll
person.
say they
Like,
can do it. They'll take the job, and
Yeah.
it will be a big mess. The expectations for the company is super high, and the employee cannot deliver that because they don't have the skills. They don't know how to do it, but they need the money, so they're going to say yes. So I just feel like businesses need to understand, like you said, how to dumb it down for the youth.
And they
Yeah.
might not have all the skills, but they gonna have some.
and if you
You
say,
gotta get those who are willing to learn and quick learners.
yeah, quick learners are really good. I'm a quick learner, honestly.
That know how
See,
to
and everybody
follow.
is not unique like him.
No, they're not. I'm a quick learner. I like messing with stuff.
But I would say that I'm just amazed how when I go out into the field and see how these businesses are handling these
Where are
youth.
they located at?
They are off
'Cause that
Beltway,
is nice because I see too
Sam
many.
Houston Parkway West.
I'm tired of seeing fast food only hire the young kids. Like, why they only gotta go to McDonald's?
Yeah, and sometimes the older
Like, that's-
generation
that's
uses it
not
as
a
a stigmatism
career.
against them.
That's
Like,
just like a stepping stone.
why don't you go work at McDonald's?
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of companies in our city that is allowing the youth an opportunity. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
But when I went to Remo's, it was different. Like they actually had one of the managers mentoring the youth,
That's good.
That's the
teaching
way.
them financial literacy, and I'm like, wait a minute.
That's the way you're
Right.
supposed to do it at jobs. You're supposed to help them.
I
You're
thought
supposed
that
to
was
train them.
different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is different.
Yeah. That's the way you're supposed to do it,
I ain't
honestly.
seen nobody else do
Because
that.
if you don't teach them or you don't
Besides
help them
that.
out on their journey, it's like, it's not really helpful for them. It's like, okay, they hear and then they'll forget. And it's just like
I
another thing
thought
for a
that was
paycheck.
so different.
But if you
I
teach them
haven't seen that.
financial literacy and how to like manage their stuff and say, "Yay, we can help you with this," they'll be like a friendly employee, like help them how to get the hang of the job. Like if they get a hang of the job, they work better at their job,
Yes,
and you have to stress less because you can rely on them.
I agree. I mean, I was like, man, like, so this your mentor? Like, I actually had to ask the employee. I said, so the manager's your mentor too? And he said, yes. I said, wow, this is a good company.
Yeah,
And
it is.
you have to go out into the field. You have to go to these locations to actually see how they work because some people, you don't really know, like how they say, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah,
You don't see it, you don't know. When I was there, I was like, man, this is different. So you guys are actually having the managers mentor the employees?
And most managers are not hands on.
Yes.
Yep.
I said, we got to get some TLC
Yeah.
youth in this place because they need to learn these skills. I mean, it's crazy.
they'll
I
send you
seen
one
it
document
hands-on.
and then you won't ever see them again.
No, the managers are very involved. I mean, it was, I was like, man,
That's a good
so
thing.
how long you been here? A whole year. So a whole year you've been getting these skills. And I know it's hard when you have to repeat yourself as a manager. That's fine. But to keep doing it, it goes a long way. I mean, I'm like, well, at least they still here. So you haven't gave up on the child, basically.
Mm-hmm.
I know you tired of keep repeating yourself, but you still
Maybe they
giving
see
in.
potential in them.
Yes,
Yeah.
you
Potential's
still
a good
giving
thing.
them the opportunity to see their potential. I mean, I was like, wow, this is. I kept saying this is different. Like I was so amazed. I was like, oh my god, this is different.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect. And if we get more businesses like that to do that, invest into the youth, give them a chance. I know we keep giving them so many chances, but it can be worse because they can be on the street robbing and killing, but yet they want to work for the small businesses to help get to another level and get those skills.
Mm-hmm.
If more business owners would do that, step up and say, you know what, I'm willing to hire the youth, give them a chance. I know it's going to be a challenge. I think that would take our economy in our state. I think that would take us to another level. Then we can be our own country.
Yeah.
No, I'm gone if that's the case. Texas can be by itself. I'm this close to leaving Texas for
Oh
myself.
my God, don't
That's
leave.
that's definitely gonna be a future goal at some point. Oh my god, because I just look at the lawmakers and look at all the laws they're passing. I'm like, y'all say this is for the kids, but y'all really just taking away stuff from the adults.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. I think that would be good though. If everybody could get on board, there is a lot of businesses that are willing to hire the young adults, but some they say, nope, too young. Because
Mm.
even engineering companies are the hardest companies that we can partner with.
Oh yeah, I really
They
don't.
don't want to give our youth a chance.
They don't. No,
It's
here's the thing.
crazy.
Here's the thing with engineering companies. They'll say entry level, but they want all these requirements. You can apply anyway, just to see, just have a shot in the dark, just in case. That's what I do sometimes. But it's like, you don't hear back from them at all. It's just silence. Not even a rejection, just silence. We're like, okay, I guess no, move on. Then
Yeah.
about a couple months later, oh, rejection letter right there.
Yeah, we
See,
need to get
even
some
like law
counseling.
firms, hospitals, I feel like they should give more into youth because it's already complicated when a child think of being an attorney or a doctor, all they think
Mhm.
about is how long they got to go to school. But if they go in and get those skills out of high school, going to
Mhm.
go see the behind the scenes part, we may have more doctors and lawyers. But they don't want to let us partner to send children there
I wonder if
because
you can like go to like open court hearings, like just random court hearings, just sit down and listen to how they run their court system.
I mean, you can, but it has to
I
be some
mean,
type of partnership. You don't want to just send.
no, I'm just saying like it could be like a. I mean, you're just looking for experience. It's not really there for any part of the trial, just to see how it runs and stuff.
Yeah, you can do that.
You just like there's a whole stand in the back. You can just sit down and just listen and take some notes. Say, oh, they do it like this. Just don't interrupt them while they're doing
Yeah,
it.
you can do that. I mean, as a leader, you can take children there and say, hey, let's go sit back in a courtroom. But
I think if you do that as a class, you're gonna have to ask for permission first.
yeah, I just think it needs to be more intentional.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you have a law firm, like don't hesitate to bring youth in, 17-year-old, bring them in and help and allow them to write some documents, be a paralegal.
Mm.
Teach them those skills. It can't just be restaurants willing to invest in.
Yeah, it
our
gotta be other
children.
people.
It gotta be other industries. It gotta be other industries
Mhm.
because as these businesses are shutting down, these big companies are shutting down. We need our youth to be able to get these skills from somewhere,
Mhm.
and it just can't be retail or restaurants. It needs to be other entities, and that's where I think that we're struggling that part right there. But once we get everybody on board,
We get some content from that restaurant,
yeah,
so he can give his little interview on what they
testimony.
need to do. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that was different.
how it has improved his little business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is nice.
Yeah, I think we got a lot to cover coming up. I mean, yeah, we talked about businesses this time around.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Talked about education, but I don't know. What do you guys think about the youth? We're gonna give them more time and see how they, cause we really gotta depend on them. I know I talk about youth a lot. I mean, now that's my passion, talking about youth, people that are underneath me. I want to see them grow because I know one day the table's gonna turn and somebody gonna be taking care of me, and guess who it's gonna be? The youth.
Mhm. Yep.
So I like to take care of people that are like younger than me or whatever, but that's my passion, and I feel like we are dependent on them. So with our age, there are people underneath us. We have to depend on them, and so that's why every time we hop on these cameras, I'm always going to talk about the youth and the impact that I see in the city. Businesses, things like that affect our generations under us, and we just have to be mindful of that. Even if we don't have kids, we still have to think about the generation under us because these are our doctors, our lawyers. This stuff matter, and so just because you don't have kids doesn't mean that this stuff does not affect you. It affects you big time. Everybody is affected. When the stock market is red and it's all red all the way down,
It's been
that's
good.
not good.
Yeah, it's been going up and down for weeks now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's not good. And I wish they would have taught that in school because you can look at that stock market and you can tell if it's going to be a good day, a good week, a good year.
You can just look at the news and see what executive order passed that day, and then you'll tell, okay, it's going down today.
Hey, it don't take a lot to learn that. It really just
Mm.
take you getting in there and having a clear understanding of what you see. That's it.
Yep, and what you lose.
Yes, speaking of a investor right here who is, I guess, affected by the stock market.
I'm affected, but not that much. Because if you gotta understand, like, I made some gains on a couple of my stocks, so they're kind of just there to keep me afloat. I mean, they're making way more than what they did when I invested. So it's like, okay, even if they drop a little, I'm still making money.
Hey, and that's what it's about. And
Now, crypto, that thing hurt.
no, crypto,
Yeah,
you could go on and handle that by yourself. I'm not ready to cry. Okay.
yeah, I invested. I'm
What
like,
is that,
okay.
like Bitcoin or something?
Yeah, I kind of
Yes.
like Bitcoin.
It
Yeah,
sound like that.
yeah. I
He
should
said
never
he
did
like
it
that better than stocks.
because it's quick returns and quick
Yeah.
gains. But I'm not being. I'm not finna be a day trader like that. So it's like, no, it's not worth it to me. Now if I see it go down the minute I put money into it, like, okay, this is how it's gonna be. I'll wake up in the
So
morning
you
and
lose
went
money
down.
that quick.
Yes, because if you go, it's kind of like the same with stock market. If you go on a low price and you think it's low, but it goes even lower after you invest into it, you're losing money,
Hmm.
especially if
Yep.
you don't recover.
But you got to be willing to take risk. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody have to take some type of risk. I mean, it's like Miss Cleveland going shopping, buying a Chanel bag,
From
and it
Temu.
breaks. That was a.
Well, no, I don't do that.
I did not say from there, okay? I'm talking about a real Chanel bag.
I don't know. I'm not into bags like that.
Well, whatever it is that you buy, you taking a risk when you buy it. It may break. It may, decrease value. You don't know. You taking that risk when you make that purchase. And so you got to be willing to take some type of risk. And if you don't take risk, I mean, I don't see how a person's going to get ahead. But most people take risk every day. They just don't know that they're taking risk.
Yeah, there's a risk every day.